unless you have been living under a rock, chances are if you subscribe to this channel, you are aware of the Baki and Kengan crossover film series that's coming out around, say, June. A lot of people are excited for this. I only really hear hype and low amounts of grumbling from power scalers, but mostly hype. But I really want to talk about the implications of this, because I personally never thought we were gonna get this for a few reasons. Mainly, even though we had the spin-off chapter of the Baki and Kengan collaboration of sorts that had Doppo Orochi as the main character, I never actually thought it would go much of anywhere, really. Mainly because we've had other split off chapters, and maybe most people who read the Kengan Omega or Kengan Ashura manga know this. We had one with Street Fighter and Ryu versus Oma. We actually had that. It's there. And so we have not seen an anime crossover for that yet. And so I thought these spin-off chapters would just be, you know, a fun little idea, and we're done. We go back to we basically all just go back home after the party. But it seems as though this Baki crossover, this Baki spin-off is actually going forward, and that's big. Because we might actually get, and I know this is a little bit of hopium from my end, but considering how much money they're putting into this, because it's expensive to do an anime. Although this is probably helped by the fact that Netflix has rights to both the Baki series and the Kengan series. So that also makes this possible. But we could actually end up getting an actual spin-off series involving the Baki and Kengan verse, which would be quite interesting. Because one of the downsides, I would say, as good as this news is, we know as Kengan Omega readers that things could be better. You know, things could be so much better. Like, who is against seeing the Connector and Yunjiro Hanama in the same place, in an anime, in a manga? No one. I mean, they don't even have to fight. Just be in each other's presence and see how they interact. But we will probably not get that because this film is more than likely going to be tied to the anime of both Baki and Kengan Ashura specifically. And the anime for Kengan Ashura isn't even done. I don't even think we've had the fight between Oma and Wakatsuki yet. And I don't watch the anime because, well, I'm one of those people who don't think the CGI is really that good. But I can understand people who actually like the anime. It's just that it's not my cup of tea, basically. It's not necessarily the CGI though. But the Netflix collaboration is limited to the anime. That's a fact. I think most people realize that. We might get a few hints of what's happening with Kengan Omega, but it wouldn't make sense with the timeline regardless. And so I think that's really a bummer because we probably won't be getting like a split off manga. Like that's probably not. Even though I'm hopeful that if this film is actually successful, we might actually get a bit more of this crossover series. But if we're at least trying to anchor our speculations in reality, we won't get anything from the Omega or Kengan Omega. And keep in mind, this is like best case scenario. What I also wanted to talk about was the power scaling side, because again, I did reference the low grumblings of the power scalers, mainly because there actually might be comments from the Baki author who seemed to have read the Kengan Ashura manga and was like, hey, he liked it, but he also kind of said, oh yeah, his characters in his series are probably stronger, you could say. So even by the Baki's author's own standard, that's what he thinks. And I'm pretty sure the Kengan authors, Sandrovich and Daro, they probably are aware of that as well. Again, I think this more or less is going to change with the manga, but the manga doesn't matter. Kengan Omega is out of the picture. But even with that being said, they're not necessarily the writers of this series. They may contribute contributes to the drafts. Both of them. I think Daro has actually said that he has contributed to the actual drafts. We don't know about the Baki author, but there's a writing team there, and for marketing's sake at least, they're probably going to have it at least look good. That's the reality. We're probably not gonna get almost not going out like Nomi no Sukune at the end of, oh my god, that's not gonna happen, bro. If it happens, it will be a painful day, especially for me because I've seen it before and I have thoughts about the whole Nomi no Sukune manga. It would actually open up closed wounds in my heart to see that. But ultimately, the writing team are in charge here. And that's why I more or less am going to take the opinion that this is probably like a split off universe in a sense. And that they won't necessarily be canon to one another, just based on, circumstance. Looking at Netflix's anime situation, this is more than likely gonna be how things go. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to talk about when it came to the news about this, and that, hey, we might be looking at the beginning of what might be a split-off series of sorts. But either way, even if it's a film, even if it's like one movie, you take what you can get, and it's probably gonna be a good movie, like all things considered. It's going to be entertaining, more than likely. And so yeah, that's how I wanted to talk about this news and my thoughts on it. But hey, tell me what you think of all of this. Don't forget to like and sub, all that fun stuff, and until next time, take it easy.